There are so many different ways to swing a kettlebell, but before you start doing the fancy stuff and loading up with really heavy bells, let's check in and get your setup and execution working for you. Welcome to My Body Fits, here to help you move through menopause. Hi, I'm personal trainer and kettlebell coach Mel Anderson, and I'm here for you if you are approaching, going through and beyond menopause with workouts that just make a little bit more sense at this time of life. Now this week we are going to look at the kettlebell swing, the beating heart of kettlebell training. Before we get into today's video, if you really want to keep moving through your menopause, then you are very welcome to use my free library of mini movement sessions, everything from 2 minutes upwards, so you can stay consistent no matter how much time or energy you have. You'll find the link down in the description. Please go ahead and take advantage of that library. If you're enjoying today's video or any of the other videos on my channel, please like, subscribe, drop me a comment below the video, let me know how you get on. I love to hear from you. There are some really good basic guidelines that you can follow when you're looking at a kettlebell swing, but we are all different shaped bodies, we move in different ways, so let's see them as guidelines and not rules. Today we're going to look at the movement pattern, the setup and the execution of the swing, and we're going to think about this with your body in mind. The movement pattern we want to think about for the kettlebell swing is a hip hinge. So simply pop your fingertips into your hip creases and push your hips back, and we want a maximum bend in the hips and a softening of the knees. Now, how much you're going to bend those knees depends on length of your legs, length of your arms and your reach to the kettlebell and lots of other things. So some of you might have a more squatty hinge than others, but a really good guideline is to have your shoulders above your hips and your hips above your knees. So for example, here, my shoulders are above my hips are above my knees, and my backside is pushing backwards rather than down in a squat. So for me here, this is what mine looks like. My hips are just below my shoulders and my knee is just below my hips, and that's a good hip hinge for me. Okay, so when we're thinking about setting up for a kettlebell swing, we want to imagine a triangle on the floor. My feet are at the bottom of the triangle and the bell is at the top point of the triangle. Now we need to figure out how far away we need to be from that bell. And again, we're all different length arms, different length legs, and so on and so forth. A good guide is to have one of your foot lengths, maybe one and a half of your foot lengths away from the bell. So that's a good starting point, and then just play around with it, see how it feels. So we're going to use that hip hinge, pushing the hips back, pushing my backside backwards, keeping a softening in my knees, and then I'm going to reach for that bell. How does that feel? What I don't want to be is too much on top of the bell, because I want a little bit of distance so I can pull that bell through, but I also don't want to be too far. This is a nice long triangle here. I'm really having to reach for that bell. So it's finding a really good, and this is you'll find that position naturally as you get more used to it, but a good guide is like go for 1.5, maybe 2 foot lengths away. Start with that, see how it feels. Hinge the hips, hands on the bell, that feels pretty good to me. The last thing we want to think about before we actually initiate that kettlebell swing is what we do with the weight of the kettlebell. So I'm going to hinge my hips, pushing my hips back, softening my knees. My hands are going on the bell. I'm going to squeeze my shoulders. And then I'm just going to tip the bell, and I'm going to load all of that weight into my heels rather than all through the front of my foot, and then I'm leaning over this bell. So I'm going to tip the bell, pull that weight into my heels, my shoulders are back, I'm ready to go. Now let's look at initiating the swing. Fingertips into your hips, push the hips back, hands on the bell, and pull the weight of that bell towards you. Now you're going to pull the bell really hard through your legs, trying to bring the bell up above the knees, keeping your back nice and straight at this point. Then we're going to stand to attention, bring those hips forward fast, lock the knees out, arms are straight out in front, finishing in a standing plank. Bell goes back down through your legs, making sure the bell goes above your knees. and repeat for the number of times you want to do in the set. On the last one, the bell goes back through your legs, and then we're going to bring it forward down to the floor to land back in the original start position. Let's look at that in real time. Fingertips in hips, hips back, hands on the bell, and hike, stand up. I'm so glad you joined me today to look at the kettlebell swing. If you enjoyed it, please like, pop a comment down below, let me know how you got on, and please subscribe to the channel so you can enjoy more of my free content.